Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the SportsCage for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in Saskatchewan. And they have the Rider Scratch tickets where one of the two $75,000 prizes has been won so far. Some of the big ones are still out there as well at your Lotto Spot retailer. Support Saskatchewan with the Rider Scratch and Win from Saskatchewan Lotteries. Colson is with me today on this program, and we have 3 hours for you running down. We're going to hear from Coach Mace momentarily on the Edmonton Elks, or Elk, that are coming into town on Thursday. We'll talk about the CFL games this past weekend. The new rules. Hey? Yeah, the new rules coming into play. That little 2-point shootout that some of us saw in Ottawa. We'll get into that, maybe get your take on it. Rob Vanstone, Rider Historian, is joining us in about 10 minutes' time on the show. Always nice to have Rob in, and he's got stats and history on this rivalry that's getting renewed, I guess, that the Elks and Riders are both atop of the West. So Vanstone is going to be in hour two. Arash Madani will be in. We'll talk some CFL there. We'll talk World Cup as well with Arash, and kind of one of our topics of the day that I'll get to in a bit. PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia. We are playing for $50 to PumpJacks Cathedral, 13th and Albert. Great place before and after games. It's coming up in hour two. It's going to be a hockey question based around Wayne Gretzky. It's kind of a historic day for the great one today. It was in 1996 that he signed a 2-year deal with the New York Rangers. So there's a little hint. We're going to keep the hockey talk going in hour two with Regina boy and Las Vegas Golden Knights draft pick, Jonah Sivertson, who had a heck of a year with the Prince Albert Raiders last year. He's coming on about 4:40 today. Brian Raymond joins us. And then hour three, Glen Suitor. Suits wants to get down on the new rules and the games this weekend and what happened and how that all shook down. Plus, he will talk about kind of one of our topics of the day. All of our guests join us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline, where I had lunch today. South Store. Spiro was in. Spiro's not happy with me because I beat him on the golf course yesterday, but that's okay. Great meal with the folks from Busy Bee Overhead Doors at Western Pizza. All the guests join us there. That pizza, we know about it. Regina style, just perfect amount of toppings, and then all the Greek favorites you love. And then you participate on the Prairieland Rentals text line. Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street in Regina, where you can rent almost anything. They have the Husqvarna tools and mowers that you need. Nice warranty there, and you get to deal with the owner. 600 Albert Street, 936-6262. 936-6262. Okay, we're going to get to Coach Mace in a second. I thought this was really interesting, and it's going around more in the NFL and down south. Before you lose your minds, and it's like, it's NFL, CFL. But this kind of makes a little bit of sense. There are some NFL players, there are some NFL people that finished watching the World Cup, especially the final, which was played at MetLife Stadium. It's in New Jersey. It's right outside New York. Absolute monster of a place. But the thing is, they were saying, if the soccer guys can play on natural grass, why can't we get natural grass in there for the NFL teams? Because there's two of them, the Giants and the Jets. It makes sense. Then as we go on, and I've been listening, artificial turf, although the field turf that Mosaic Stadium has, Leibel Field in Regina has, Griffiths has, Saskatoon Minor Football Field in Saskatoon has, there is not enough of them in Saskatchewan. That is for sure. You can play when it's raining. Great. It's a lot better than the old AstroTurf that Suits used to play on. Dave Thomas played on the old Taylor Field turf as well. This stuff's better, but 69% higher rate of non-contact foot and ankle injuries on artificial turf. Things like ligament tears, PCL tears, and of course, Achilles tendon tears, which we've talked about on the show before. I don't remember my dad, Walter, and his buddies getting together and any of those guys blowing their Achilles tendons, playing fastball, slow pitch, whatever it was. I just don't remember that. It's become so common, especially in sport. This turf, does that make a difference? We see it in the CFL. Who was the last guy, Cole, so not to put you on the spot here, I'm trying to think who the last guy in the CFL was that blew his Achilles. It was just recently. And it was like, I know a ruptured tear. I'm not a doctor. Didn't have those kind of marks. But we see it in the CFL as well. So, with that said...
I don't remember. It was...
Recent,
yeah.
Now, in the CFL, I want to say almost impossible to have real turf in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
In Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And Edmonton was like one of the last places to have it. Yep. I'm even going to throw out Edmonton there because it gets cold. Calgary with the Chinooks, I'm going to grant you could probably do it in McMahon.
Yeah, you could probably make do.
BC Place, that should be turf. Oh, they should have plants like that one college on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's indoors, so you got to have it figured out how you're getting the sun on it, but still.
But the roof does open up. And
yeah.
With that said, now what's the deal in Toronto again? Isn't it like, is it mostly real and then they have artificial, or is it mostly artificial with a little bit of real?
I think it's the mostly artificial with a little bit of real, but I could be completely wrong on that. Because again, the soccer players all want to play on grass.
Have to almost, yeah.
Yeah, so it would make sense that the main part of the field is grass. But I think it's the last yard or two in the end zones is where the real grass is.
I went to a pro soccer game in Stockholm in Sweden, outside Sweden. And it was about 30-ish thousand. Cool experience. We went for the experience. It was great. And it was natural grass, obviously, which looked like field turf. I was almost positive it was field turf. But then at halftime, they watered it. And is that because I think it's something to do with the sliding, maybe, to keep it more,
Yeah. Well, yeah, with soccer, they're tackling, right? They call it tackling, which is sliding.
Yeah. It keeps it, because imagine doing that on, like, soccer is nuts in every city in Canada now. So these guys and girls that are playing soccer on, whether it's indoors at the soccer center here, or in Martinsville, or in Saskatoon, or on Mosaic Stadium, or on Libel, or on Griffith, whatever.
Yeah.
You do those slide tackles on that, that's rash. That's road rash.
Yep.
That's turf rash.
Yep.
But it's very interesting. The only way it would possibly work here, but then you got high school football traffic, you get U of R games on there, and then I guess they're only playing one, maybe, or are they playing all their games this year? The Thunder. So you get a lot of traffic, and I'm like, well, what if it's because you'd have to have it heated? That's the other thing. The CFL, I don't think any of the stadiums have heated turf.
I don't think so, because like that's what Buffalo is doing in their new stadium, right? And it's real grass and it's heated underneath.
You got it.
Yeah,
you got it.
So,
and there's the fake turf, the artificial turf in the NFL in the cold places. That's heated as well.
Yeah,
got it. Makes sense.
Yeah,
they didn't. I'm almost positive. Again, don't quote me unless 936-6262. I don't think there's any heated ones in the CFL.
I don't think so.
Which is crazy, because if it gets to minus 30, and it's so hard. I don't know if that's an expense thing, maybe an expense thing.
Probably.
It was overlooked. Just hot water.
Regarding the Achilles injuries, it was Bennett Williams, Ottawa Red Blacks defensive back, on July 6th, tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
So that's the most recent one that I can see here. There might have been one that happened in the last couple weeks, but
it's already getting heated up here on the text line. There's a lot of people, 936-6262 in the YouTube as well for Prairie Land Rentals to get to some of those bills. Let's go to Coach Mace, what he had to say today. Obviously, the Edmonton Double E's, the Elk or Elks, are rolling in. Mace talks about coming up against a tough team.
You know, they've been playing some really good ball, I think, in 3 phases. And it's no shock. I think, you know, as football people, you saw glimpses of, you know, what they were capable of last year. You know, it just took them a little bit of time to get going. And, you know, they came out the gates hot, man. You know, obviously super familiar with their head coach and, you know, some other coaches on staff, some really good coaches, man. And they got really good players. You know, offensively, they got some explosive weapons. They got a good quarterback. Their O-line's been playing good. You know, they got, obviously, you know, with Mac having the relationship and Julian Grant with Fajardo, that's been good for them defensively. You know, they've been lights out and taking the ball away. And then obviously, you know, special teams with, you know, Dez and Killam over there. And they got some really good players, man. So I think their record, you know, truly reflects the type of team that they are. And it's a good one, man. It's going to be a heck of a game.
I don't know. Obviously, you're watching tape. They're watching tape. If you watched BC and Edmonton, and then I had to look at it 3 times after the game. I even brought it up to Colson moments ago. It's an absolute noodle scratcher that Justin Rankin only had 9 yards against BC. I think I could have piled up 5 or 6. What was BC doing? Now, yeah, Darnell Sankey, baller, for sure. I was watching a bit of that game. A tough watch once Rourke is out. But I'm like, ooh, they are keeping Rankin in check here. Coach Mace obviously talks about what they are going to try and do to stop the Rankin family.
I think that's been kind of the question about this guy for a while. You know, when Rankin first came in the league, even when he wasn't, you know, getting all the stardom that he has now, those were some long film sessions trying to figure that same question out. Really good football player, man. Guys play hard for him as well. So it's a full meal deal as far as a team. It's not just stopping Rankin himself, although he can create some plays by himself. But they do a good job as a unit. You know, opening holes for him and or getting the ball to him even without handing it off to him. So, and then if he takes a break, he got leaked. So they've got a lot of good things going for him, man. It's going to be a tough task, but you know, for us as a defense, these are the kind of challenges that we look forward to be the team that we want to be.
That's what I was going to say. Then you got the leaky in one out there in the backfield as well. So I'm into this one. I am intrigued on Thursday night when this goes down at Mosaic Stadium. We're going to hear more from Coach Mace coming up in a bit. Also, James Vaughters, Antoine Brooks Jr., Logan Furlan. Very emotional day, obviously, for the players. Those interviews are coming up as well with Dave Thomas. It's keep the text messages coming, 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. We're going to go to break. When we come back, rider historian Rob Vanstone will join us. It's the Sports Cage. We are in the studio. We're not at Egg in Motion where everyone else is. Sounds like an absolute good time out there, though. We're going to be back after this. Welcome back to the show. Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries. A busy crew up there at Egg in Motion. Good job, Nikki and Cody and Gloria. Stop in and see them up there for the next 3 days. More football talk now. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. He's been joining us almost every Tuesday now for the last few weeks. One of the most, I think, was one of the best memories of anyone I've ever dealt with. Robbie Vanstone. There he is, live from Mosaic Stadium. Rob, I'm super intrigued about this game coming up on Thursday with the Riders and Edmonton Elks. Did you watch the Elks BC game? And are you as baffled as everyone else? BC has been able to hold Justin Rankin to under 20 yards in both games.
Well, first off, thanks for your kind comments about my memory, Dave. Sorry. That was an attempt at humor. Especially when you look at BC and they've had their struggles on defense this year yet. That's the team that's been able to solve Justin Rankin. And it's so far that's been the tendency, but not an easy thing to do because he can get you in so many ways. There's been so much talk already about will he be the first 1,000 back in CFL history. You've seen Marshall Faulk in the NFL and Christian McCaffrey, but it hasn't happened up here. And it would be Andrew Harris came close, but it would be really cool to see Justin Rankin get there. I've been watching the CFL since 1971, and I've seen a lot of very good all-purpose running backs, many of whom have played here, but it has not yet been done. I just hope he doesn't get himself too much closer either of the next two games.
What were you seeing from BC, if anything? What was standing out to you?
They were hyper-focused on, and I don't think that's different from a lot of coaches. They'll say, stop the run, make a team one-dimensional. And they were able to do that. I'm not analytically sound enough to look at it and say, okay, that's the gap that they were canceling. Actually, I was riding my bike and listening to it on Ched Radio at Edmonton. So it's more what did I hear from Morley Scott and Dave Campbell, and then I just tried not to get too misdirected on my bike ride because it was very hot that day.
How many K this week?
75.
Oh.
75 Ks. Or 75 meters. It was 75 something. And
meters.
But there was a time there it's like, where am I? What am I doing? It was a long hot day, but that's how I was paying attention to the game while riding my beautiful bike that's from September of 2000.
I can't remember where I saw it, but you were going through, this rivalry and for a number of years, and I have to tell people that were really invested in the 80s, where Edmonton was the team to beat. It kind of feels, I know we're early in this season and Edmonton maybe wasn't gangbusters the last couple of years here, but it kind of feels like this could be the start of maybe a little rivalry where a lot of us were thinking BC and then Winnipeg is maybe kind of fizzled out, but maybe this one's back a bit, Rob.
To me, it'll always be Edmonton. Just the way I grew up, 1972 to 1976, the Riders played Edmonton in the playoffs every year. The last four of those seasons, it was in a Western final. The last season during that span, the Riders won 23-13 to go to the 76 Grey Cup. And after that game, Mom informed me that her and I were, in fact, going to the 76 Grey Cup. She told me in the car where we were waiting to get through traffic after the Riders finally beat Edmonton in a Western final after losing at Clark Stadium in each of the previous 3 years. And so you grow up and it's just Edmonton every year. And my dad didn't know a football from a pineapple, but he knew that Tom Wilkinson and Bruce Lemmerman were the Eskimos quarterbacks. That's how much the Edmonton team was in the conversation back then. And it's times are different now, and it's been a long time since the Roughriders and Edmonton have been at that upper tier in the division, and it's so timely that there's now a home and home set with one team at 4-1 and the other at 5-1. You couldn't design this any better. I'm looking forward to this. I always look forward to football games, but this one just has a little bit of extra spice. And I'm so glad Roughriders and Edmonton are a topic again. Not just because Edmonton's the next game on the schedule, but there's some build-up because of the proximity in the standings. That's my childhood. It's hard to remember that there was a childhood, but although my mental age is still 12, so.
How many meters are you biking as a kid? No,
what did they use back? What units did they use back then? Cubits? How many arm lengths did I go? It was definitely yards when I started. I remember the change to the metric system. So I was in Massey school when Miss Walshaw in grade 5 tried to explain to me what a meter was. So.
Where are you with Cody Fajardo and what he's been able to do and how he looks this year? Obviously, you know him well from his time around the league and here. But, what are you seeing from Cody?
I'm really proud of Cody and what he has done. And I really enjoyed my time dealing with Cody here and watching him play, and went to Montreal and won a Grey Cup. And I think too often people have been dismissive of Cody when he went to Edmonton last year and signed with Edmonton in a support role. And this is somebody who not only 2 years before signing there had won a Grey Cup as a starter. So I'm glad to see Cody getting his due and doing playing the way he is. I think he's had this in him for a long time. We saw that here in 2019, especially. He was named the most outstanding player in the West Division and a CFL All-Star quarterback. And so I think that adds to it too. Just the last two full-time Riders starting quarterbacks are playing against one another on Thursday, not at the same time, but quarterbacking being what it is in terms of profile, that's what people are going to focus on, and it's a really interesting thing to say. We haven't had a lot of chances to see Cody play here, and just the circumstances never really worked out until last year where he could play here, and so I'm really, proud of what Cody has done, and he should be proud of it as well.
Have you had a chance to talk to Ryder Varga? I see that the status report was released. He is out for the game. It was really, he must be getting the itch to play, and he must be close.
He must be close. I mean, he's been a full participant in practice, and I don't think it will be that long now before he's out on the field and can add to the list of Saskatchewanians who've played for the Roughriders and Reginans who have played for the Roughriders. I remember watching him play high school football. I remember watching him play for the Rams, and I think that was a really savvy signing by Jeremy O'Day. And you have to wait a little bit as he recuperates, but I think there's going to be a lot of dividends there once he's back on the field.
What do you know? What are you curious to see from the two new guys that are brought in?
I'm still not sure, how that's going to evolve roster-wise. I mean, their credentials are both impressive. We're talking, players who have played in the National Football League, and but really, who do they supplant at this point? If you look at the defensive lineman and Roberson, I mean, the Roughriders have 11 sacks in 5 games, and that's the same total the team had last year. And there's been so much flux on the defensive line from this year to last, but the production is still there. And at this point last year, the Riders had 11 sacks after 5 games. 8 of them were from defensive linemen. This year, 10 of them are from defensive linemen. So they're assuming a greater proportion of the toppling of the quarterbacks. I just don't know how it's going to be tough for someone to nudge their way into the lineup the way everyone is playing. But those credentials tell you that it's certainly worth a look.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Anything else jump out at you from practice today? Maybe Alex Hale. How is he looking out there? Kicking, because he hasn't really kicked a long one in games yet, which is maybe just circumstance.
He tried a couple from 50 plus in the preseason, and certainly had the leg in that case. You know what? Kean Schaefer Baker grabbed a microphone after practice today and was jokingly interviewing Antoine Brooks Jr. And I enjoyed the lightheartedness. I enjoyed the levity. We all know what a heavy week it has been, and just to have a few laughs and seeing players goofing around, I think it's it's and Antoine Brooks Jr. is probably the best guy in the world to goof around with. What an absolutely outstanding character he is. So today felt a little closer to normal. It was good to see some impromptu stuff. And Trevor Harris's mom Suzanne is here. I had a chance to talk with her, and his wife Kaylee was at practice. And it's nice to see the players getting some support from their families, because everyone really took a hit this week, and that pain isn't going away anytime soon. But it's nice to just have a little chuckle every now and then, even joking around with Corey Mace before his media obligations today. I told him my shirt was ugly, and he was kind enough to agree.
Let's you teed it up. Let's play it for people. If you're watching the stream, you'll see it. If not, here it is on the radio. Here was KSB having some fun.
Hey, what's up? You look real good in that 5. What's the reason from the 33 to the 5?
It was I wanted to look slimmer.
He does look slimmer, let me tell you. That 5, the 5 makes you look live. 33, he wasn't a 33. That's Antoine Jamel Brooks reporting to you live from the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
He's got the radio voice going, doesn't he?
He does. He caught him off guard, eh? It's one of those, it's kind of like when Dave Thomas is throwing music puns at me. He catches you off guard. Yeah, he does. I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to see what KSB can do. Rob Vanstone, Rider Historian, is joining us here. Did you have a chance to watch the game in Ottawa?
Yes, I did. Me and my fine dog took some time enjoying that game.
What did you think about it? Especially, it's our first chance to see the 2-point convert shootout.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I mean, I remember, 2 years ago in Ottawa, the Riders in Ottawa played to a 22-22 tie, and that game was so unsatisfying with that tie. And it's just, to me, it's like, why? I love, Stuart Johnston taking the lead on this, because it's just, why? You don't really need to add a lot of extra things to the game to resolve the tie. Just exchange 2-point converts until somebody gets one and the other one doesn't. It just, to me, that's a fix that I wish had been in a long time ago. It was interesting to see the missed field goal that ended the game, because 2 years ago, not in uncomfortable proximity to that Ottawa tie, Liam Haralahu missed the field goal, and then they all ran off the field celebrating. And and I know that didn't sit well with Stuart Johnston at the time either, even though he was not yet the CFL commissioner. But the CFL, a lot of people kind of pointed at that, said, "Why are you celebrating it? When you've missed a field goal?" And reminds me of my touch football days, Barney. We were playing a team called the Broncos that always annihilated us, and were annihilating us again in a game. They ultimately won 78-7. And our quarterback, Mark Anderson, and I was the right slot back wearing my number 17 Joey Walters jersey. Mark was sharp. I was awful. None of us were doing a thing that day, and we were just playing out the clock. And Mark said to me, run a 1-yard hook or 1-yard hitch or whatever, turn around, I'll throw you the ball. It was 2nd and 20. So he throws me a pass that's about 3 feet in the air, and I still juggled it, bobbled it, and then went down to the ground like I'd been shot. And then we all started celebrating and high-fiving because we'd actually completed a pass. And everybody looked at us like, why are you celebrating that? That's absurd. And that was basically the Toronto field goal celebration 2 years ago. You miss a field goal, and then everybody's going nuts. But
yeah, he was running out. He was waving his arm.
For the record, I was asked to catch the pass, and I caught the pass.
I thought you were setting up the hook and ladder for us, for sure. I thought he was coming back around to get it, which is a fantastic touch football play in its own right.
I would have needed to call Uber to complete the ladder part of that pass pattern.
The other thing going around, I want to get your take on it, is down in the NFL after the World Cup, places like New York, New Jersey, Seattle, starting, there's NFL players and people connected saying, well, if they can put, natural turf in New York and some of these places, like I said, why can't we do it for the NFL? Which, as I'm reading and the data shows, considerably takes down injuries as well. Now, I know that's difficult in the CFL, but going back to your time, and I was talking to Dave Thomas earlier today, I remember walking on it and how hard that old Taylor Field turf was. Dave said the second go round of the turf was even worse because it had sand, and then you'd get sand in your burns. When field turf came out, it was like, wow, what an invention. This is great. Now we're starting to see, the injuries and all that. I think for, I don't even know how many years, it seems like forever, Edmonton had the natural turf, which is now gone. In a perfect world, I think, Rob, we'd get, heated grass in all CFL stadiums, but I don't think that's going to happen, obviously, anytime soon.
Remember the Ice Bowl? I do. I'm old. The Ice Bowl in Green Bay in 1967, and they had some heating mechanism installed underneath the turf at Lambeau Field, and somehow it malfunctioned or whatever, and it was a reason for the Ice Bowl. And so they had that in 1967, some kind of technology to warm up the turf, and somehow with that in place, the Ice Bowl became part of the football lexicon. I remember what a shock it was in 1979 when the Riders played Montreal in their first home preseason game to walk into Taylor Field and not see grass. But, back then, there'd be high school, or not too long before that, there'd be high school football. There'd be Rams games. There'd be Rider games, of course, on Taylor Field. Once upon a time, there were baseball games, and that field would get pretty chewed up in a situation where, okay, if it's only the New York Giants and the Jets, or if it's a limited use of that grass field, you can do it. But when you've got all the constituents playing on the turf, there was just a youth football camp out on the field right now. There's probably soccer games here tonight. How do you do that practically? You can't just say, okay, we're gonna have a grass field and we're only going to use it 10, 12 times a year. That just won't work in terms of the accounting. But the NFL's accounting is a different type of beast.
Are there any artificial turfs in the CFL that have heat, like have a heat mechanism? I don't think there is there?
I don't know. I got to look more deeply into that Green Bay contraption from 1967 because that's the only one
we could have bought that. Maybe we could have bought the old one, because now they got new ones there, and Kansas City's got one, and Buffalo's got them, and everywhere has it. Maybe we can pick up some used parts.
Well, I remember too. The grass fields in September, October, November. If you watch any footage from the 76 West Final against BC, Ronnie drops back to throw a touchdown pass to Bob Richardson. And when he came to a stop at the end of his drop, he kicked up so much dust. That was November 20th, 76, bringing this to a full circle against Edmonton. And I guess we're lucky there wasn't snow on the ground on November 20th, 76, but that field was just dust at that point. And so part of that too is, if you can keep the grass in good shape, great. But what if it rains? It can be a mess. And there's been some real ugly natural fields that aren't as conducive to playing in elements.
Obviously, being in Saskatoon almost my whole life, I don't know if you ever covered any of the old Rams Hilltops clashes at Gordie Howe Bowl when it was beautiful natural grass. But as we started playing on it in other high school, and then it would snow. Well, then they try to take the snow off, which in turn takes off some of the grass. And there was the one year, and I brought this up on the show before, that the Hilltops had to play the Okanagan Sun in the, I don't know if it was a semifinal or the Canadian Bowl. And somebody from the city, instead of letting it melt, because it was probably going to melt, they took and shaved it off. Well, there was no grass. It was the brown, hard dirt, and they painted lines on it. And you got this team coming in from Okanagan. Oh, yeah, I was working at Global. Like the footage, we had to make, I think I remember getting the camera guy to walk on it with his feet. And it was like a parking lot at a slow pitch tournament with lines on it. And I'm like, this is like a national semifinal or a national final, whatever it was. There was no grass on this field. And the guy from the city did get reprimanded because he just should have left it.
The city of Regina used to get reprimanded for letting me play touch football on any of the fields in the city. So
sounds like you're at Hops, though. You could get up and get the ball.
I have those crucial 1-yard receptions. I remember I covered a 9-man football game in Lumsden, and the skies had opened the day before, whatever, and it looked like a laundry detergent commercial. It was one of the. I got to find that story now. It was absolutely hilarious. It was just everybody looked like they were playing in a chocolate milkshake. Indiana and sport at its finest.
Yeah. All right, Rob. I know it's been a difficult week there. Really appreciate you taking time today. And we got a big one on Thursday. Looking forward to seeing you there. Thanks a lot for jumping on today, Rob.
Always my pleasure, Barney and Colson. And next week we'll see if Candy has some time in her schedule to do this with me. She's much more well-spoken.
Right on. I love it. There he is, Rider historian Rob Vanstone joining us here on the Sports Cage. We are streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Welcome back. Colson is with me for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Rider Scratch ticket. One of the $75,000 prizes has been won. Get out there. Try your luck to get the other one. Back to, we're going to get to the Prairieland Rentals text line in a way. A lot of people seem to be experts and heating of turf and what goes on with turf. But I want to get back out to Coach Mace from today. And we heard from Coach Mace on how do you stop the bump and grind, as Curtis calls it, and Justin Rankin. Coach Mace says if they looked at how BC slowed him down last week.
Well, there's always different nuances of whys, sometimes situation or sometimes play calling, whatever it is. But yeah, you look at everything every week, and it's not just even the Elks in general. You do that every week for every opponent, just looking at some certain things where other teams had success, versus the opponent that you have that week to see if it's something you can implement or something similar that you have. But for the most part, players are going to have the ball on their offense. We got to do what we got to do to stop them, period.
Now, this isn't Sprinkle of the Day, Colson, but I'm going to bring this up. And let's see what they have here. For the game on Thursday and Justin Rankin's rushing stats. Bear with me here as I try and find this. What do you think a safe number would be after everything and what's happened?
Like an over-under on yards?
Yeah.
I bet they're probably putting something in the 80s.
See, that's where I would see as well. Oh, the one set I'm on here, they might not have it yet. Might have to keep looking. But yeah, I think that'd be safe. 80, 89? Yeah. 90 and a half? Is 90 and a half seems something that they would throw out there? We might have to dig into that a little bit more. Okay, Prairieland Rentals text line, 936-6262, also doubling up on the YouTube chat. Ed, great messages. Ed's usually on the ball, buttoned up, as they say. He says, is heating the grass any different than cooling an ice rink? I'd think it's the same principle.
Principle in that, like, you're putting pipes under the surface and
Freon and coolant going through, yeah.
In that principle, sure.
Sure. The only thing is, if an ice rink, artificial ice, can't cool, you really can't play on it because it starts melting and soft and injuries and all that.
Yeah.
If by chance your field and the heat didn't work, was just like, hey, tough, go old school. Like they had to do in Saskatchewan in 2026 and get out there and play on the cold field.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and we're not running this thing 24/7 like an ice rink is either, right?
Yeah.
You run it an hour or so before the game to get the field warmed up. You run it for the game and then turn it off.
That's what somebody else was saying. That
and even then, when it's 30 degrees out, you're not running it. This is only in maybe October and November, right?
You can bank your heat Chili Willie says, and yes, the parking lot was probably more forgiving than the field going the old Taylor Field back in the day, the turf burn. He played high school on it, 77 to 79. Yeah. Oh. And there, that was our dad's football back then. That was tough stuff. A lot of people excited for the old battle between the Riders and Edmonton, getting back at it. Ray says, played on old Taylor turf. It hurt. The first installment or the second, it didn't matter. Yeah. I never played. I remember walking on it once. Because coming from Saskatoon, you only would ever get the chance to play at Taylor Field on that carpet if you made the provincial final for high school football, or you made Sask first or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I did either of those. But I remember being on it and being like, oh, here it is. I get to walk on. Oh, this is so good. I'm just like, yeah, this isn't that cool.
Yeah, I've been on the old Taylor Field turf a few times. The only time I, in quotes, played on it was in 2010 when the 1 year I was on the high school football team and I never left the bench. So, again, played in quotations.
If you're watching the stream, right there is a piece of it.
Yep.
The old Taylor turf we have here.
I don't know what iteration that was at that point.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right. We're going to go to break. We'll come back with the ticker. It's the Sports Cage. I guess we're going back out to the Ag in Motion team. Let's fly. Some CFL news off the bat here. 3 Down Nation is reporting Nathan Rourke will miss weeks rather than months. MRI went down and no surgery needed on the non-throwing shoulder. Montreal Alouettes have released Mario Alford. If you missed it yesterday, the Argos have signed Sean Lemon. Western Canadian Baseball League, Red Sox in Medicine Hat. Tough one tonight. There and majors, Toronto at Tampa. Sports ticker is for Reliance Heath. Rent a water heater and softener, $1.20 a day. Get $400 cash back. Some conditions apply. Call on Reliance. Hour number 2 coming up. Arash, Madani, PumpJacks, Cathedral Trivia, and Jonah Sivertson, drafted by the Las Vegas Golden Knights. It's a Sports Cage. We're back after the news. Welcome back to Hour 2 of this Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage. Guest joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline, and your text messages are coming through in the Prairie Land Rentals text line. A lot of you talking about the turf in the CFL. Turf experts, let's go. Let's hear you. 936-6262. Still more to come. We're going to talk hockey in a bit with Jonah Sivertson. Prince Albert Raider, Regina Boy, drafted by the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and we are going to hear more from the Riders. A couple of one-on-ones on an emotional day for the players there, as you'll hear later. But let's not wait any longer and get into it with Arash Madani.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
I want to start with something that I saw on Sunday.
Okay.
Related to the World Cup, related to the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh.
This was really... What's that? Oh, Colson, I thought we had it. We can get to it in a bit. What did you think? World Cup wrapped up. Let's go to... let's get your comments on the final game first.
So, I mean, 2 thoughts. One, Spain did what Spain does, which is just suck the life out of you, suffocate you. 20 shots on net to nothing at one point. And won because they were the far better team. So congratulations to them. They concede 1 goal through the entire tournament. They're world champions. They earned it. They deserved it. My second thought is that was the worst case scenario that could have unfolded for a North American viewing audience. Like, you want people probably watch that game just because it's the World Cup final. Okay, I've been hearing so much about it, etc., all the hype. You want a 3-2 game. You want action. You want things to happen. You want to grip people. You want 0-0 for 115 minutes. Like, I've been hearing all about Messi this, Messi that. non-factor in this. Like from a North American viewership standpoint, it was a big miss, and I think now the majority of North America will go back to not caring about soccer for the next 4 years.
More stifling defense. 2026 Spaniards or early 2000s New Jersey Devils?
Right. Exactly.
That was boring hockey. I watched.
Yeah. You can clutch, you can grab. I guess only Argentina can do that in 2026.
Neutral zone trap-ish in a soccer kind of way. I really, you know what, though, with that said, I watched that final game. It was my last day of batching it. Everyone was at the lake. And I'm like, I'm going to sit down and enjoy myself with a salty treat and watch this World Cup game. And I want to know what Spain is doing. What are they? I don't know the game very well, but maybe I can figure out what are they doing to make it so Argentina gets nada for chances. If it's a hockey game, I can figure that out. If it's a football game, I can probably figure that out. Even basketball. When it comes to soccer, I'm sitting there going, well, okay, are they playing these small, like little boxes all around the field? I don't know, but it was gameplay-wise pretty fascinating.
So 20 shots to nothing at one point was right around the time it was 800 converted passes for Spain to 300 for Argentina. Not quite triple, but almost close. So it's the soccer equivalent of small ball in baseball.
Yes.
What you're doing is, in a field that big, it's not death by 1,000 cuts, it's death by 800 passes. You just continue to wait, maneuver, try and create the opportunity, and pounce.
You ever see that Simpsons episode from back in the day where Homer's watching Simpsons and they're just passing it back and forth and everybody's excited and he's sitting there going, why?
What am I doing? Yeah.
Okay, you got it ready, Colson? Okay, here it was the funny joke off the start.
Oh no.
It's
Lionel
Lionel
Messi in a JJ McCarthy jersey. Oh boy.
It looks legit though. Does it?
No, go back to that, Colson, real quick. I'm going to take a screenshot of this and put it in the family group chat.
Tell Allie, my boy Barney's getting after me.
I love it. That is award-winning stuff.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, I gotta get this Tuesday to Arash.
Yeah, I messed up because I thought this was the one that you wanted. If you've all seen the bath picture with Messi and the young Spanish soccer star.
Yeah.
So this is the one I thought you wanted.
Oh, and the other thing, the other thing I found out, Spain's not going anywhere. Like they're young. Like this whole thing's, they're running this back in 4 years.
And everybody's talking about the young kid and the Messi connection and 19 years old, whatever. Rodri, the midfielder, to me was the best player in the world. He's the best player in the tournament. Yeah, I get Mbappe. Yeah, I get Holland. Yeah, Bellingham, Harry Kane, all of them. But nobody controlled play, and nobody was more important in that semifinal against France than Rodri, and then ultimately in that final either.
What's the World Cup legacy for Canada after all this is said and done?
So I've been thinking a lot about this, Barney, and I think if we're being honest with ourselves, we're hearing all this stuff, oh, we're a soccer nation now and this and that. We're not, okay? So let's just realize that, I think when October rolls around, very few new viewers are waking up early to turn on the Premiership in England, the Bundesliga in Germany, to follow Alphonso Davies every game, etc. But I do believe the lasting legacy of this could be, is there going to be a player or two or three that ends up on the national team 8 years from now or 10 years from now and said, I watched that World Cup and I became part of it. Like when you think about London 2012, those Olympics, when Christine Sinclair burst onto the scene. Canada won a bronze medal. They got hosed against the Americans in the semis. There was a 10-year-old watching, or 10 or 12-year-old watching on the couch that day. And she said, that's what I want to do. And that girl at the time, now woman's name, is Julia Grosso. And at the Tokyo 2021 Olympics, Julia kicked the winning penalty for Canada to win the gold medal. So I don't foresee us shifting our viewership patterns, whatever. Maybe some people are going to follow some of these soccer players on their social media and see what they're up to and kind of follow that way. But in terms of being engrossed in professional soccer, I just don't see a lot of that changing.
I think they will, or we will. Will Canada ever host a World Cup again?
So the micro answer to that is there's a chance, because in 2038, the World Cup's coming back to North America, the way this thing is looking. It's headed to Europe next year, or next time around, 2030. And then it's headed to Saudi Arabia in 34. 38 is up for grabs, and they saw what this can be, etc. You know, I don't know what you felt about it, Barney. Like, you looked around, it felt like a lot of people were into it. You saw the images in Toronto and Vancouver when they hosted. People were excited. It brought back vibes of Vancouver 2010 and hosting an Olympic Games. But pretty soon the bill's going to come in. You know, like, we've just been on a 6-week bender.
Exactly. Credit card statements, Las Vegas this, Las Vegas that. It's like, oh, you.
Right. Room service, charge to the room at the lobby bar, all that stuff.
Old Red round for the fellas. That turned into 3 rounds, which turned into I could have played 3 rounds at the Win.
So it becomes a question as a country, do we want to do this? Do we want to welcome the world? Do we want to bring people to this country? Do we want to showcase ourselves to the world? Do we want to have unifying events like these? Because there aren't many of them. Is that important to us as Canadians? And I think that becomes something that we have to start thinking about over the next 4 or 5 years, because the bidding process is around the corner.
More juice from the squeeze. Hosting or partially hosting a World Cup or an Olympics?
The difference is an Olympics is one city. My guess is by 2038, not only will Toronto and Vancouver want to get in on this, but if Canada bids on this, does Edmonton look at this and say, oh man, here's our chance to really upgrade Commonwealth Stadium? And we want to be in on this too. Montreal's just announced an $800 million renovation to Olympic Stadium. Is Montreal going to want to get in on this too? I think one is more of a national thing, and the other is more kind of in one city.
What do you think? Can you pull it up, Colson? What do you think of this? Elbows up guy, Carney, and this release that it's way too small for me to read, but basically, and it's around soccer. But they are investing some major dough. What was the final number, Colson?
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
$1 billion in sports. They're specifically highlighting soccer, but $1 billion across sports.
But they're saying improve access to sport and upgrade stadium, fields, local parks. What they want to do is they want to increase participation. They want to reduce the barrier of entry for young kids to get involved into sport at a grassroots level, and to improve the facilities across the country so that we can go, not only like the World Cup's one thing. Hey, can we host the Under-17 World Cup? Can we bring a Copa America type event, a Nations League type thing? Can we bring some different events that are going to help the economy? But more than that, it's really allowing and opening doors for more young Canadians to participate and be involved. That's what that's about.
I don't know if you you were listening earlier, but I wanted to get into this, and we're getting some comments. It's amazing how many people can kind of be borderline experts on something when you throw it out there. Grass replaced turf at to some of those NFL stadiums, New York or New Jersey, Seattle. As soon as the World Cup was over, it's like, hey, Facebook Marketplace, we got turf for sale, and then it's back. It's back to the artificial stuff. The George Kittle tweet was Dino.
Yeah, it was checkmate, right? Kittle's there at the final with a buddy, sunny day, saying grass still looks great. Let's use grass instead of turf, NFL, please. And the irony is that they're there at MetLife Stadium, called New York, New Jersey Stadium for the World Cup, which has the worst turf in all of the NFL and has led to more significant major knee injuries than any other stadium. Barney, I believe that the legacy of this World Cup for the NFL is that there will be more grass fields eventually. That this is going to be a collectively bargained issue the next time the players and the owners get together, and without necessarily saying one for one, the owners are like, cool, you want grass? No problem, we'll give you grass. You know what we want?
An extra game.
Yeah. You want to smoke grass? Cool, no problem. We want an extra game.
Yeah. Okay, let's just
everything's a negotiation in CBA talks, and that even the playing surface, they're not giving anything away for free.
Okay, here are the NFL stadiums. I'm trying to think if I would have got all of these right. Allegiant Stadium in Vegas, obviously. Okay, I think they do the roll-in, roll-out thing. When Phoenix did that, or when Arizona did that, call it what you want, that was like a Martian landed, right? And it was like
revolutionary.
Whoa. I remember going the first year, second year, because before that it was Sun Devil Stadium where it was auto back sweat to watch a game. But then it was like they roll the turf out, and then everyone's like on our old junky internet, and we're watching it, and it's like, and then you go there, and it's like, that's where the turf rolls in and out. And then now it's just like a cell phone, whatever, right? Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, natural grass. I've been to this Bank of America Stadium in Carolina. Great. Yep. Too bad the team stinks. Great venue in downtown. Oh, that's some nice place there. Cleveland, I wouldn't have known, nor do I want to know. They are natural, which would be heated. Denver's natural. Jacksonville. Washington. Wouldn't have guessed that one. Miami, obviously. Green Bay, obviously. San Fran, wouldn't have maybe guessed that. Philly, I wouldn't have guessed that. It's a hybrid grass. I don't know what that means.
I think it's got turf stitched in with it.
Sativa India, okay. And then M&T Bank, Baltimore, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, Chicago, Arizona. There's more than I thought, to be honest. The heated thing, right?
Yeah.
None of the CFL teams have heated, even artificial turf, from what I understand, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know enough about it, Barney.
What's the deal in Toronto again? Is it mostly real and then it's fake, or is it mostly fake and then real?
No, it's real grass up until like the 5 or 10 yard line, and then the end zones become turf. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, CFL. Let's go to the weekend's games. Which one do you want to start with? Ottawa? Oh, I know. I felt so bad, kind of, for them.
They're up 26-9 at the end of the third quarter. They're up 2 touchdowns midway through the fourth quarter.
I took them on the money line. Just let's put that out there.
Ottawa?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The amazing part of that is you had Drew Brown. You know what Drew Brown can do and what he can't do. Why didn't you continue to bring pressure on Drew Brown? Because whenever you did, he couldn't do anything. And you know that Drew Brown between the yard lines is where he's going to go. The middle of the field, that's where he's going to live. You leave that part of the field open for him to go to work, and on top of that, the defensive backs can't catch to save their lives. They dropped 4 picks, 4 surefire picks that would have ended the game. Amazing.
I thought in that game, while I was watching it at times, I'm like, Jake Mayer's offensive line isn't that good. Like, it seems like he is constantly underwater, on fire, running around. It's like, Jake must just be like, you know what? Put it on me. I'm the quarterback. That's what I sign up for. But, boys, are you guys made of paper mache? What's going on here? I need some help. And then if you can't, then keep another guy in, and we roll the dice with one less guy going out. Yeah. Like it's kind of simple coaching for a lot. Bulls fan on the text line, it is nothing like the NFL 28-3 game, which I was at. No, it's a regular.
Nothing ever.
It's a regular.
Nothing ever can be.
As I say to my wife, I took you to the worst Super Bowl ever. Hold up. I love it.
There can't be another one like that ever, because there will never be another Patriots dynasty like that with Brady and the rest.
Man, that direct snap play too is right in front of it. I just thought I'm speaking of blowing an Achilles. Okay,
by the way, Drew Brown's not very good, but good for Winnipeg for winning the 2 games.
Is it more a Winnipeg win there? Ottawa loss?
Ottawa loss.
Ottawa
gave it away. And this is not a Jake Mayer thing. This is just an Ottawa defensive malfunction. A team that just doesn't know how to finish. Like the one time they brought pressure late in the game, bam, sack, and then we get away from that. You know, why are we leaving the middle of the field open for their receivers to do the work?
That's a good point. The other thing, not that it should have got there, it's kind of cool to see the first ever, convert shootout thing. But I felt my eyeballs, I don't know if anyone else agrees with me out there, Winnipeg was prepared for that. Winnipeg had a set group of plays that they both kind of looked the same, and the receiver just sat down. Whereas Ottawa, like that Geno Lewis catch on the first,
incredible.
That should never be thrown. Like that's not the high percentage throw. Like, here it is. If you're watching the stream, this is not the high percentage throw. Like, what are you doing? You lay it up.
Backpedaling into double coverage.
No. I played high school quarterback, and even I know that you don't do that. That's not great. But he makes an unbelievable catch. Then then Winnipeg made it look easy, and then Winnipeg went again, made it look easy on kind of the same look. And Ottawa's back in this weird zone, and Winnipeg's like, all right, stay back there. We're just going to check this thing down right here. And then Ottawa couldn't figure it out. Again, Jake Mayer. Did you want to know the other thing? From all 4 of the plays that were run on that little mini game, all to the left side. Both teams. All to the left side.
Interesting.
All in the same almost area. Yeah. But anywho, Nathan.
Good observation. Very good observation.
Yeah, I'm a kind of a nerdy coach like that. I'm like, well, he only can roll one way. Let's just stop that. BC Nathan Rourke doesn't sound like it's months, weeks. If you're a Lions fan.
Yes. And just if you're a CFL fan, like, it's the best player in the league. You want the best players to be out there playing. What Rourke means to the league and the talent. So Ryan Rigmade and their GM had a media availability, said no surgery required, which is huge. Thankfully, it's the non-throwing shoulder, so it's just going to be a matter of, rehab, pain tolerance, et cetera, et cetera. I was just talking to somebody in the basketball world about somebody dealing with an injury, and they said, sometimes you have to protect the player from himself. It's almost like this is what it's going to be with Nathan Rourke. Let's tap the brakes a little bit here. Let's not rush this. There's no need. Let's make sure that you're ready to go when you're ready to go.
Do you want to give me just a couple minutes on my Blue Jays? Like, it's not good. They're back playing Tampa today. They lose 7-1. Day before they lose to the White Sox. You got to turn it around quick, or is this thing toast, Arash?
I think it's toast, Barney. They're in last place. They're 8 games below 500. The team that's 3 games above 500, the Red Sox, have won 14 in a row, and they're middle of the pack in the division. It all came apart fast for this team.
It did.
And, a year ago at this time, we're like, these guys can't lose. Now we're saying these guys can't win. And they weren't as good as last year indicated when you really look back at it. 51 come from behind wins, blah, blah, blah. But they're not this bad, but that's the way it kind of goes sometimes. And they're probably somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle would have had them in some kind of wild card conversation. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is having like an all-time horrible season. And on top of that, the Blue Jays are dead last in runs scored in baseball. Who would have thought that?
Where were you in 1987?
Grade 1?
In Turo?
Turo, yeah.
Okay. So maybe you didn't. But I like my music on this day and music trivia stuff.
Sure.
I'll throw one at you. I think almost everybody in the world, because 87 I was 10, right? So pushing 11. I think every single person I know had this cassette, especially all the guys I played hockey with, except for me. On this day in 1987, Guns N' Roses released their debut album, Appetite for Destruction, featuring singles Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, and Paradise City. When you go back on that, and I know it's not up there, but what an album.
You know what? I'm going to go through that album when we hang up, just to like check out all the tracks.
I don't know which one. Like, Welcome to the Jungle is such a an event. Like, I don't care if it's a hockey, football, wedding.
We
funeral.
got fun and games. We got the funeral.
But Sweet Child of Mine, when in that video, when he did that sideways dance, that headband on, like, I was like, I don't hang out in the smoking section at school, but I almost want to go buy some acid wash jeans and Trans Am. Yeah, that was good stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We are going to catch up Friday?
Friday, yeah, after the Rider game.
Oh, isn't that going to be a good one?
It's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. It's funny how this goes. I'm in a couple of, believe it or not, even living in Toronto, a couple of CFL group chats. I'm like, there's some guys saying like, hey, what are we doing for the game on Thursday? Like, that never happens.
Oh.
That doesn't even happen for Grey Cup, but people are excited for Thursday.
Right? Send me a picture of the gathering. What's the score? Yeah, we're going to play SaskTel, pick the score in a bit here. What's your score?
To me, it's a one score, like field goal late in the game, 27-24. You pick who wins.
Okay.
By the way, on the Red Blacks, I know things are horrible, but our guy Brett Lauther, you can't miss.
Oh,
can't miss.
What a season! Trade. Let's start the rumor. He's coming back.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Catch up Friday. I'll send you my bets too before the game.
Please do. Please do.
So yeah, Arash Madani, coast to coast for Brian Gawley, Smart Investing Solutions. You got to be smart with your money. When you're being smart, you call Brian Gawley. Saw him on Saturday night, looking dapper. Brian Gawley, Smart Investing Solutions. Okay, we're going to break. We still got Jonah Sivertson coming up. A little hockey talk, and we got winning as well. It's a SportsCage. We'll be right back. Kellen Solar's out at S14 Livestock Central, Manitoba Drive and Central Ave at Ag in Motion. Go and see them up there, the fellas. Okay, this one is right in the as a new father, Colson. Yeah. This one gets you right in the feels. If you're watching the stream, in 2006, it's Jacob Wilson pitching to his dad, Jack Wilson, who was playing for the Pirates. And then it says it was last year. I don't know if it was this or it's dad pitching to son, who's playing for the Athletics. In the who's cutting onions? Jeez, is that ever cool? Okay, Colson, you got one?
Yes. Mine's a little bit more of the unclutched variety. So Tour de France is wrapping up this weekend, I think it is. The caption on this was the Jerry Judy of the Tour de France. So as you're watching here, this guy's biking along trying to snag a water bottle on the side of the road. That's 3 he's missed. That's 4 he's missed. And number 5, no.
He missed every single water bottle.
He's just going to keep going. So that's rough.
Rob Vanstone would have grabbed the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it was a cup.
I like how the last guy, too, was even trying to go along with him, kind of move with him to make the pass off easier. No, still
funny if one of them would have just been mad and just threw it at his back.
Ouch.
Clutch performer, Glen Suitor, Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Right now, they're up at Ag in Motion, booth S14. That's in Livestock Central, Manitoba Drive and Central Ave. Go and see the fellas. They got the livestock operations solar thing dialed in. Anything solar, they can help. They also, they've given me help on my golf swing. Go in there and say, hey, heard you guys got solar and you can help my golf swing. Glen Suitor, family-run business from Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Okay. You guys ready out there? Chance to win? It's time for PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia.
It's time for SportsCage Trivia for PumpJacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
Okay, I mentioned this off the start of the show. On this day in 1996, Wayne Gretzky signed a 2-year deal with the New York Rangers. If you haven't won anything in the last 30 days on CKRM, you want to win $50 to PumpJacks Cathedral. Even if you don't win, you get to win a free lunch, or we give you a free lunch. Great place before the game Thursday, after the game Thursday. PumpJacks Cathedral, 13th and Albert. Lots of taps, great food. Okay, here's the question. 936-6260, you got to call in. Texting doesn't count. In Wayne Gretzky's last season in the NHL with the New York Rangers, who led the team in goals? 936-6262, 306-866-767-0620. You have to call if you haven't won anything in the last 30 days. Chance to play PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia. We'll go to break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're playing PumpJack Cathedral Trivia, 13th and Albert, PumpJacks Cathedral Saloon. Before and after the game Thursday. Let's go. Great time there. Okay, we got Timmy on the line, ready to play.
Timmy on the line. I'm ready to play.
Hey, Timmy, let's go. Okay, here's the question. In Wayne Gretzky's last season in the NHL with the New York Rangers, who led the team in goals?
Gretzky.
Oh, Timmy. Tim, the good news is you still win a free... You want to take one more stab at it? It's not Gretzky. Colson
not Gretzky.
Colson started the clock.
Who scored the most goals with New York Rangers?
87. Yeah.
Mark Messier.
Oh, good guess, Tim. But unfortunately, it wasn't Mark Messier. Stay on the line, Tim. Colson's going to get your information for a free lunch at PumpJacks Cathedral Saloon. The correct answer... Even people that were texting in were wrong. It was Adam Graves. Adam Graves, the most goal with 38 bingos, as they call them, that year. PumpJacks Cathedral, that means next week, $100 on the lines. Let's keep the hockey talk going here. Western Pizza. Why wouldn't a guy or girl? Western Pizza tonight. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings. The lasagna, the salads, the souvlakis, all of it is great. I had it for lunch and I'm hungry for it again. Western Pizza. Joining us, he's been on the show before, Jonah Sivertson from the Prince Albert Raiders, and I guess we can now say from the Las Vegas Golden Knights, drafted last month or earlier this month. Jonah, thanks for taking some time. Has it kind of worn off, or is it kind of settled in now? You can say, if it has, you can say, yeah, no, it is. Now the hard work starts.
Yeah, honestly, going to development camp, just kind of realizing that, I have my foot in the door a little bit. So yeah, it's kind of settled in now.
How does it happen? How do you get the call? How does that all go down?
Yeah, so I stayed at home for the draft. I was just with family here in my living room, and I saw on TV before I got the call. So I kind of just stood, and me and my family were just standing up in the living room in shock. And then I got the call from Vegas about 5 minutes after, so it was pretty special.
One of those times that you make sure the phone's probably charged, right? Like it's plugged in. But I'm sure big celebration with family and friends after.
Yeah, I just kind of had a big family supper after, the people I'm closest to. So it's just special to see everyone there.
Did you get any interesting messages or texts from maybe someone you haven't talked to in a long time or ever before? Just a congratulations.
Yeah, there was a lot. There wasn't too much interesting ones, but just a lot of people that I haven't been in touch with in a while. They kind of reached out, so it was pretty special seeing those people still paying attention, and yeah, it was pretty awesome.
You got a couple names for us?
Yeah, just like some of my old buddies. Like I know Brandon Fuchs, one of my friend's dads. He was always staying in touch, but Rod Benroth, he's one of my coaches, so we always stay in touch, and he was always with me, every step of the way. So when I got drafted, he was pretty pumped. I think he was the first person to text me, so it was awesome hearing from him.
Mrs. Shynkaruk was excited too as soon as she saw it on there. She's like, Jonah. Okay, so everything happens like really quick. I mean, I wanted to ask you this, like, because you're basically down in Vegas. I think it was like two days later, or not that. Like, how does that all happen? Do they say, "Okay, your travel agent's calling you. We're getting you down here," or do they say, "Okay, we need you here in 2 days"? Like, how does that all go down?
Yeah, right after the draft, they sent me a lot of information. So after that phone call, they said they'd give me another call right after that, and kind of a bunch of emails. And I was, getting on a plane ride and heading right to Vegas the day after. So it was pretty quick turnaround, but I was pumped and really fortunate.
What was camp like?
Yeah, I was used to being the biggest guy, and I was. One of the, I was just average in height and weight out there. So, that kind of shocked me. I was like, oh, these are some big boys. But, so camp was good. Just realizing how much bigger, stronger, and faster I have to get, to be at that level.
Is it, I guess, because there is a lot of young guys, right? Development, it's all the rookies in that. But do you feel you're that far behind? Because I would think you're right there with a lot of the guys.
It's mainly just younger guys, but there were some older guys too, who have a little bit more experience, and they're developed a little more. So yeah, I'm a little bit further behind, but I still got some work to do.
Do you talk to Kelly McCrimmon at all through this?
Yeah, a little bit. Just at camp, kind of just introduced myself. He was a former Western leaguer, and he's been in the WHL for a long time. So yeah, just a little bit at development camp, but nothing too much.
He doesn't grill you on any questions, being a West guy. I know he's got a lake house about 4 or 5 hours from here. He doesn't grill you on anything out in the West?
No, not too much.
Take us through the plan now. Like, obviously you're training hard, you're on the ice. I saw you at the rink yesterday. What's the plan with the Golden Knights? Like, when do you go back down?
So I think there's rookie camp coming up. I'm actually getting an email this week, so I think I'll be heading back to Vegas early September.
What's the summer focus? How do you train? Do they help? Do they say, "Hey, here's some stuff that we'd like you to do"?
Yeah, their trainer. Just so much information that I came back with from development camp, like nutrition and being in the weight room. But just trying to get bigger, stronger, faster. Those are the 3 keys in hockey. It's a man's league, so got to put on a little bit of strength.
It's crazy to think it's only a couple of years ago, right? PA sends you back as a 16 and you play the Pat C's. exceptional year. I'm sure you wouldn't trade it for anything, the run you guys had. How do you think that helped in your long-term development, Jonah?
Yeah, I think it helped a lot. Going back to U18, being a leader on that team, I think that was big for me. Getting more minutes, playing in some key moments. But it was also just a great time. We had a really tight group of guys, and we were all willing to give it our all every day, and I think that's why we were so successful that season.
What about your boy from PA, Daxton Rudolph? Right, like that's pretty special as well.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I always knew he was a great player. When I was 16, even seeing him at camp at 15 for the first time, I knew he was going to be a really good player, and just really happy for him. And for him to go to Buffalo, it's just so amazing. Kind of all his work it paid off for him.
Is he one of those guys too, like just a really high IQ guy?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of his best things about his game. He's a really smart player, and he just sees the ice so well. So it's really fun to play with him, when we're on the ice together.
Obviously, the great run that PA has this year come up a little bit short, but it was fun. It was great to watch as well. I wonder if you have any comments, or if you're talking to or giving any words of encouragement or advice to Malachi Martin, because there's a guy with a great story, right? Pat C's last year, first year as a last year in the midget ranks, has a heck of a year, even when Pugh and Schultz aren't there, and he gains a lot of interest, and now listed with PA, and they say he's got a real good shot of making that team. Do you ever talk to him and just the grind that guy's putting in?
Yeah, no, of course. Malachi's one of my best buddies, so I'm just really happy for him, and he's been putting in a lot of work this season to make the team. I know that's a big goal of his, so he's trying to do everything he can to accomplish that, and it'd be fun to play with him.
Yeah, right on, man. All right, you look good in that hat. You'll even look better in a jersey down the line. I'm sure we'll see you around the rink. Thanks so much for doing this, Jonah. Congratulations again. That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
There he is. Las Vegas Golden Knights draft pick from Regina, Saskatchewan, 113th overall. Jonah Sivertson had a heck of a year last year for the Prince Albert Raiders, his first full year in the WHL. It's a Sports Cage. We're on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. All right, Riders release their report on who's active and out for the game today. Looks like Nelson Lacombo still out, and Ryder Varga is still out. Obviously, Matthew Sexton and that nasty injury with his ankle, he's out. And there's news out of Edmonton. 3 Down Nation is reporting Edmonton Elks have listed offensive lineman Carter O'Donnell as doubtful for Thursday's game. So that'll hurt the Elks on the O-line as well. Some other CFL news. Nathan Rourke's going to miss weeks, not months, according to 3 Down Nation. On that shoulder, no surgery needed. And the Montreal Alouettes release Mario Alford. Baseball, Blue Jays, Tampa, 5:07 around their first pitch. Red Sox are in Medicine Hat in the Western Canada Baseball League. Sports Ticker is for Extreme Hockey and Sports Celebration Bauer Fest on this Saturday. At Extreme, come out for lunch. Check out the complete Bauer lineup for the new season. Meet some of the Regina Pats from 11 to 1. And don't miss your chance to win great Bauer prizes and giveaways. They're local. They support local. Extreme Hockey and Sport under new management. McIntyre Street, the Cooperator Center, and in Moose Jaw. Let's go out and talk to Brian Raymond from Flowing Springs Golf Course. Mr. Raymond, again, I had talked to some people that were playing the course on Sunday. Said it's fantastic out there. It's juicy.
No question about it, and you can't get a better day than today. It's absolutely gorgeous outside, hardly any wind, and the temperature is nice and comfortable. A little hazy, but not too bad. And you're right, the course is in fantastic shape right now.
Okay, maybe someone wants to get out for a date night tonight, and they're saying, let's go golf, or they want to part ways and they just want to be away from each other. Is there tee times available tonight?
Absolutely. We've got a few tee times still available. After 6 o'clock, of course, it's only $22.50 to come out and play. And, of course, every day after 3 o'clock, it's only $40.50. And tomorrow being Wednesday, every Monday and every Wednesday, if you're a senior, meaning over 60, or if you're a female, you come out and play the golf course for just $42.
Unbelievable. What about Thursday, Brian, with people coming in for the Rider game? Maybe come in a little earlier, make a tee time?
Absolutely. You know, we do get people that have a habit of coming in early and bringing their sticks and, get them around in. If you want to just play 9 holes, that's okay. You can come out and do that, and we'd be happy to have you. Just give us a call, and we'll get you on the golf course.
And even if you don't want to go golf, go out and see the best driving range in the area. Grass, you got targets. You can grab yourself a beer and a hot dog and go out there and hit some balls. How do they find you? How do they book, Bri?
All right, we're just northwest of the city off of Highway 11, take 734, which is at exit A. And you can give us a call at 306-543-5050. And you can book online at flowingspringsgolf.com.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brian. We'll talk to you again Thursday.
You betcha. Take care.
Brian Raymond, Flowing Springs Golf Course. Go, $22 go golf tonight? Man, it's almost like they're paying you to go golf. Prices that cheap. Hour 2 in the books. Hour 3 coming up. We're going to hear from a couple of Riders and Glen Suitor. It's a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders. 620 CKRM and streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Hour 3 of the show. If you missed any of it, podcast forum for Fries Tallman Lumber in Fort Capel and Regina. Delivery available. Window and door sale on. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can go find that. Glen Suitor is going to be with us in a moment. Riders Elks Thursday. I'm excited. I'm jacked. I don't even mind the Thursday night. I know if you're from out of town and have to drive a long way, you're like, shut up. I'm like, I know. That sucks. Maybe get a little tailgate in as well. Protecting Trevor Harris is always key, especially when you see what happened to Mr. Rourke. But our offensive line has been buttoned up so far this year. How about a little Dave Thomas one-on-one today at practice with Logan Furland?
Logan Furland, the countdown to game time is on. Obviously, it's been a lot this week. How good is it just to get back playing and thinking football?
Yeah, it's always good to get back on the field after a bye week, especially, and with what's going on, just try to keep our mind on the game as much as we can and just be together as a team.
Where does that mental fortitude come from? Obviously, there's a lot that's done in the community by the Roughriders Foundation when it comes to the mental awareness campaigns. What's being done with the Roughriders right now?
Yeah, we got to practice what we preach, right? We go out talking about this to kids across the province, and we can follow what we've learned through the foundation presenting these kids, and we can practice these steps ourselves, and it really just puts in our own lives and our own situations.
In games, media like to build it up, go figure, but this is a first place showdown, if you will, in the West. Are we emphasizing this game too much?
I don't think so. We try to treat every game the same, no different than the last. We just try to go 1-0 each week, and that's the goal.
You're playing Edmonton back-to-back weeks. Is it easier preparing for a team twice, or are we not there yet?
Not there yet. You know, sometimes it can be difficult, depending if they change things up. We just got to treat this game as our game that we're focusing on this week, and 1-0 is the goal.
The Edmonton Elks defensive line is very formidable. What have you seen from them on film that's giving them success?
Yeah, very good defensive line. They're all very physical, all have good get-offs of the ball, and they play together well. And they're a very physical front, and we're looking forward to it.
You know Malik Carney very well, having spent a couple of seasons with him here. Does anybody have an advantage, whether it's offensive line or defensive line in that instance?
Yeah, I don't think so. I see it as a good matchup, and we're looking forward to the competition.
And a lot of emphasis is being made about the running game of the Edmonton Elks and Justin Rankin, but there's a pretty fair running game here too, isn't there?
Yeah, I think on both sides of the ball. I don't think we've had a complete showcase of our true run game yet, so looking forward to seeing what we can do.
Oh, good one. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Coming up Thursday at Mosaic Stadium, we're going to hear from Antoine Brooks Jr. in a moment. Emotional day for the players back at practice, of course. Also, don't forget, Riders Foundation 50/50, riders5050.ca. We talked about this all last week, but now it's coming around. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. is the deadline for the early bird. You're going to buy 50/50, get in it, then you're in the early bird because it's a Taste of the Maritimes tour for two. Return flights from Sasky to Halifax, 7 nights, hotel accommodations, some meals included, probably seafood if you like that, or you can take $7,500 cash. Riders5050.ca. Let's go talk to Glen Suitor.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Freeze Tallman Lumber, locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years in Regina and Fort Capel.
That's right. Freeze Tallman. You're coming in to do the game Thursday. I know tomorrow we're going to talk again. We're going to maybe tee that one up a little bit so we don't have to talk a lot about that today. I want to talk to you, Glenn, and I want to start it with the games this past weekend. I know you were out east, and the new rules coming into play, my man.
Yeah, they are really sort of giving us a true look in real time of what this may look like. You know, my concern going into all of these rule changes is first of all, it was, do we really need to change the game? I've always believed that the game is fantastic as it is, but okay, if we need to keep evolving, let's keep an open mind and let's look at the rules. So then the concern becomes, is there going to be a trickle-down effect somewhere here that we weren't thinking of, that the league wasn't thinking of, that a sort of a trickle-down response that is a negative and slows the game down or hurts it in some way or doesn't look good or whatever. And I think the opposite has been true with these first rule changes. Again, the same discussion will happen next year, but right now, just dealing with the ones we have, let's go to that Hamilton finish against Toronto. Field goal attempt from 30 yards or 31 yards to win the game with the Argos down by 1, and a shanked kick goes through the end zone without being played. No point, no tie game. And I know there was a whole bunch of people saying, oh, it would have been nice to see overtime, most of which were Toronto fans, I'm sure. But,
both of them.
Yeah, so, exactly, Barney. So anyway, like when I think about from a presenting the game perspective, okay, so that's really what I concern myself with is, are we presenting the game the best we can? And if we're not, how can we improve? Or if we are, how can we continue to improve? And that can be said with the rules as well. And when I saw the sort of the drama of a kicker missing, going through the end zone, and no point awarded, game over, Toronto loses, it's the agony of defeat versus the thrill of victory, like that old cliche, that old saying for that commercial used to be. And it was exciting. It was dramatic. It was heartbreaking if you're Hairolahu and the Argos, but it's not, it's immediate, and there was a winner. And the same can be said in Ottawa. Because that was it. Let's brand it, Barney.
No. Hold on. I want to go to Toronto. I want to go to the Toronto game first.
Okay.
I was talking to Rob Vanstone in hour 1, and he brought it up, and I remember, and I think it was like the windmill when Haralahu missed. Was it last year? Or the year he missed it, and then celebrated like they just won the East Division final to go to the Grey Cup, and I'm like, off a miss. And if you are from another planet or have never watched the game and you're watching that when that happened, you're like, what's going on here? He missed. They're celebrating that they won. Like I think that rule, it's just always been so odd. So then isn't it like fitting, happenstance, whatever, that it's them that it happens to?
Yeah, and that's the first thing I thought of too, was the celebration after missing a field goal but winning by a point. And that's always been a concern, because when we do the Grey Cup, I've thought, boy, you just hope that no game it ends like that for the championship. It's almost like sometimes I think soccer fans watching that game when it was that final for the World Cup were thinking, we don't want this to go to a shootout. Most of them don't, because then, it's like the team that was the better team all day gets ripped off because of one shot or something like that, even though they were the better team. So, I like to Toronto, Hamilton. I have to say, honestly, that rule change to me is excellent. And by the way, when I used to argue, people will say, well, you're sounding like a hypocrite now because you used to argue to keep the single on a missed field goal. And the only reason that I would bring that up was because if you miss a field goal, it can be returned. And so, and that will change again next year. But right now, if you miss a field goal, it'll be returned. And what we want to do is make sure we give incentive to the returner to bring it out of the end zone. In other words, if Hairolahu missed last year and they didn't win by a point, that returner's got to get it out of the end zone. So that's why I would argue that even though I don't like that you're rewarding a miss, I do like that it keeps in play in a big way the return on a missed field goal. Mm-hmm. So that rule change, though, the way it is right now, I think it's bang on. I mean, the drama of watching Hairolahu fall to the ground, and I don't wish this.
Yeah, no, we know what you're. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it just. It's fantastic television. I mean,
entertainment, drama. It's why we tune in. It's exactly what we want, win or lose. Yeah, and for most of us, it's like, unless you're sprinkling on it, it's like, okay, who won? Who impressed you in that game?
I think it's a great question, and I think it was a career. It may be a career changing in a positive way game for Trey Ford. And let's just say the opposite happened and Trey didn't look good. He looked confused, he looked out of sorts, they didn't win. And listen, I know they won because Hairolahu missed. That was a big reason for it. He didn't look great all game. I thought his decision-making process was outstanding. Higher level than I'd seen him when he was starting in Edmonton. And he still has that magnificent gift of being able to avoid tacklers and get outside. If the opposite would have happened and Trey looked awful and out of sorts, then is the narrative then become, well, it was kind of a gimmicky thing anyway. He was a really good athlete, but he's not a good quarterback. I think in this opportunity, there would have been a lot of people, had it gone the other way, would have been a lot of people go, yeah, I think he's just a really good athlete and maybe not get another chance. I think this could be career defining for him.
Oh, hold the phone. We're going to keep this clip. In case
I know it's just one game, Barney, and it's a normal reaction. I know it's just one game, but had it gone the other way, he may have been no longer considered, and they already brought in another quarterback in Hamilton. So I just think that this might be a game that if he continues to grow and becomes a starter and a star, and let's say he wins a championship down the road, he'll look back at that game and go, that was my turning point.
Okay. Let's go to the other one. And talking earlier, I took the money line, Ottawa. I just, it's like Homer Simpson when he bet on the Washington Generals. I thought they were due. But the Ottawa, man, how many holes are in the drywall in that Ottawa tunnel and dressing room at this point? How frustrating is that one, Glenn?
Yeah. It's funny because Jake Mayer probably outplayed Drew Brown in that whole matchup that we created, or didn't create, but we certainly emphasized going into that game, and yet didn't get the win. Again, we get an example of the rule change and that there will be no ties the games will no longer end in a tie ever because of the, let's call it the 2-point shootout, which nobody is saying, but we're going to brand it right here on the cage.
2-point 2-point shootout, 2-point.
The 2-point shootout.
2-point twirl.
Two-stepping. And, to get that close, maybe you have to get that close to turn the corner. I'm not sure. And hopefully Ottawa can figure it out because I can't see them just, they're going to beat somebody down the road here. And they're not as bad as 0-6. However, that is what they are, though.
Can you, with your eyeballs, I'm watching it, I feel like their offensive line does not help out. Like poor Jake, there's a lot of times that I feel that, they're playing either shorthanded or a guy's got his hands tied behind his back. Like he is constantly under pressure, which is football. Yes, I understand. I am aware. But it's just a lot of times it doesn't seem like he has any time. He's constantly under fire.
And they don't have a running game. So that's also been, that was probably Greg Bell's best game. And, it still was sort of an afterthought. And I wonder if it's the O-line that is the concern there as well. I would agree. The other thing, though, in this game in particular, they had a chance to win this game 2 or 3 times if their DBs can hold on to an interception. And, this is what I mean about you are what your record says you are. So let's not pretend that, let's not try and build up that they're not an 0-6 team. They're 0-6. That's what it says, and that's what they are. However, this is what I mean about the fine line between winning and losing. And when we say they're just a terrible team, I think that's going too far the other way because they're not a terrible team. They've got a couple things they got to be better at. The O-line is one of them. But they make one of those interceptions. There was one in overtime right through the guy's hands.
Yeah.
It's game over. That's it. They're done. So, that's how fine a line it is between getting your first win and going 0-6. And it's funny, at the end of that game, Barney, the quarterback discussion didn't really seem to be anything because Mayer played pretty well and they both threw for over 300. The numbers were almost identical. And Drew made the last throw he had to in the 2-point shootout. What
I thought there, I think I told Arash this in hour 2. I'm watching. I'm going to throw something and see if you. I'm watching the 2-point twirl or shootout or two-step or whatever, and I thought. First off, the throw and the catch by Geno Lewis is unreal. That ball should never be thrown, Glenn. Do you have the tape, Coulson? Like if you're coaching this or you're an offensive coordinator, off his back foot into coverage with the safety coming over, like that ball. This isn't the play you want for a 2-point convert. This is like a hope and pray, and somehow, some way, Geno comes down with it.
Yeah, I was sort of throughout the game kind of tongue-in-cheek suggesting that if I'm an Ottawa offensive coordinator, my playbook has one page, the very first page, that just has 87 written in the middle of it because they seriously have to figure out ways to just throw the ball up to him, and Geno will make the play more than he won't. Amazing catch, just amazing catch. And, it's too bad, like I said, that they have Keelan White, Justin Hardy, Geno, Pimbleton on the outside. If you would look at that receiving core, you're going, hey, that receiving core should be as good as any in the league. And yet they find ways. I mean, that's the difference between teams that have learned how to win. You hear that all the time, how to learn how to win and making that one last play or that one penalty that hurts you or whatever it may be. That's the difference.
I'm listening to you do that game because took Ottawa on the money line, thinking it was a chance. And I also had Geno Lewis anytime touchdown. And you're talking about just throw him the ball. And I'm like, yes, Suits. I need him to get a touchdown. Okay,
I didn't know that.
I know. But okay, so the other thing is I felt Winnipeg was prepared with these convert plays. Like, I don't know what zone Ottawa was in, but it's almost like Winnipeg ran that little sit down right over the line, boom, play. Then they came at him with the same look almost, and Ottawa was out to lunch again. It just seemed like Winnipeg was more prepared for the new overtime rule.
Yeah, possibly. Only the coaches would be able to answer that, but for sure. But it looked like it, because that call where an entire secondary is giving up about 7 yards of space on a 2-point convert play. I mean, you've got to be up a yard off the ball, eliminating any hot throws. And then if they beat you at the back of the end zone with a Geno Lewis style catch, okay, you live with that.
Exactly.
But yeah. And that goes to the same thing about a team that's 0-6. It's not just the players. It's sometimes it's that one decision by the coach, and you go, oh man. Yep. And it's like you're trying to protect and force, like we gotta figure out a win here. We gotta have a win, rather than thinking about what do I need to do when they're down there at that part of the field, and be aggressive as I can be. And if we go down swinging.
I had to watch the Winnipeg plays again, and I watched your replays, because I'm like, I have a play, and I think because we used to run it, and then I would run it in men's league, and then now I run it with the kids, which is hard on 5-on-5, but it's the same, and I call it's called TP. So okay. two receivers go about 3 yards deep in the end zone, and they cross. Then the third guy just sits right at the goal line on the cross, right? And I'm like, I think they just ran our play, which it wasn't. The other thing, Glenn, that I thought in overtime, all 4 of those plays went to the left side.
Yeah, well, if you're throwing quick game, your mechanics as a quarterback, I'm sure Trevor will tell you this, or Darian too, will tell you that one step throw on the quick game is easier to your backside. But yeah, I thought they were well prepared. I love that play. Very difficult to defend, even if you're in man and press. Press, you get in trouble if you're up on the line of scrimmage because of the cross.
Yeah.
Now do you switch that? Because usually when you're playing press coverage and everybody's in bump and run, you're locked. You're saying no switches. You're locked. So then you get picked off, and by the time that third guy figures out where the curl is, right at the top of the teepee,
dead meat. You're dead meat.
It's too
You're
late.
Sitting duck.
It's too late.
As long as you can throw it and catch it, you should be good. And then I know you didn't do this game, but jokingly aside, I don't know if you're still listening, I texted Arash in the Montreal Calgary game, because it didn't look too good for Calgary early. They're down 22-0. I said, hey, we need to get a wellness check on Jeffrey in Calgary, one of our listeners here.
Yeah, I've heard
Calgary scraps back right in that one. Munch, I thought Davis Alexander looked good, because we were all kind of talking about the hamstring last week.
Yeah, I think that the moment for me in that game, or what I took out of that just jumped off the page, is that Davis Alexander is the best player in the league right now.
Okay.
And I know we've, in all fairness to Justin Rankin and no disrespect there,
Philpott
for sure is in the discussion, but for a couple of reasons. One is he is such a gamer. I mean, he finds a way. He buys himself space. He does such a great job when he's off schedule, outside, running around, scrambling around, finding plays. Usually it is Tyson Philpott, by the way, who seems to know the scramble rules better than anybody in the league. But I just, the degree of difficulty in the position, and we've seen what happened to teams that lost their starting guy in the in that difficulty in the position, it elevates him above Justin Rankin to me. And Justin is still in the discussion, as is Tyson Philpott. I know it's super early. We're not even at Labor Day. But right now, Davis Alexander is the best player in the league.
Do you ever look at your body maybe when you're suntanning or walking around the beach in your swim trunks and be like, oh, I remember that scar. That's from that burn at Taylor Field. A lot of discussion down south at the NFL of players starting by George Kittle with, wanting to go to the real deal, to grass at a place like MetLife Stadium. And then obviously in Seattle, too, they had to put it down for the World Cup. Wouldn't it be a perfect world? It's not going to happen, Glenn. But because of the injuries that we're seeing, and what is it, 69% I pulled up, that stat data is showing 69% more injuries are coming from the artificial.
Yeah, as a player, well, first of all, let me be real clear on one thing. I go out of my way to not look at my body. So I will sprint past mirrors to not look at my body.
Where's my robe?
Everything from my playing days has shifted. Let's not talk about it. Anyway, as a player, as a former player, playing on natural grass, way more preferred. Especially when I looked at the grass in Kelowna, they put the beautiful natural grass into. I walked around the field, and it was sweet. I mean, we're talking, not like a putting green and that short, but like a beautifully manicured fairway, but with a stronger underneath it. And I'll tell you what, you talk to any of those players, they absolutely loved it. Now, I had a conversation with Amar Doman and with Dwayne Vanu, the president of the team. And I asked him about, could you leave it in there after FIFA had left and maybe play the rest of the season on natural grass? They actually wanted to do that. And they talked to FIFA and they talked to the people that put the grass down. And in fairness to FIFA, I thought initially it was that FIFA said no. And they said, no, once we're out, we're taking the grass with us, or we're getting rid of the grass. You got to put it on your own thing. It wasn't exactly that. I mean, it was partly that, but not. There was another side to it, which is that grass for FIFA and for BC Place only lasts probably another month, maybe 3 weeks, and then it could start browning in spots and things like that, and they can't fix that unless they replace full sections and things. So logistically, they got into this thought that, well, if we leave it in even for 1 or 2 games, it would look great. The players would love it. But what if it turns brown and then we have another game coming up and we don't have time to switch it then? And now you got what really looks bad with brown patches and, things like that. So they decided collectively to not do it, take the natural grass out, put in the artificial, and they're putting in brand new turf. So there is an upside for the players, for the Lions, and for visiting teams going into BC Place. But I found that interesting because I guess there is a lifespan to those soccer fields that were put in domes. And I do know that with Abbotsford, out in Abbotsford here, was where that grass for FIFA was grown.
Okay.
Don't go there. Don't go.
It's a family program. But back in your playing days, how excited were you to go play at Commonwealth Stadium after the Taylor turf?
Yeah, loved it. Because when you're comparing it to the Taylor turf, which is different than the current mosaic turf.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about pavement painted green to natural grass. The downside with, at the time, the Edmonton Eskimos, who I was convinced was always cheating, the downside to them was that they would leave the grass a little bit longer than they should have, I thought.
Like a rugby.
Yeah, and I used to call it gizmo grass because Gizmo was so strong and so fast that he could run through grass no matter how tall it was, and the rest of us would slow down. We would lose a good, second off our 40 times. So, and I couldn't afford that, I guarantee you. So, I always thought they have gizmo grass out here, but as far as just playing on it and the lack of injuries and diving for a pass and not losing the skin off your arms, you know what I mean? Like that there was more of my flesh and many players' flesh on Taylor Field turf than I want to even bring up. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do a quick chat tomorrow to tee up the game Thursday, which is awesome. But I love my music just like you do. And I got to give you one here. On this day in music history, Glenn, 1987, Guns N' Roses released their debut album, Appetite for Destruction, which featured Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, and Paradise City. You had that album.
Oh, no question.
Tape, cassette, whatever.
In fact, Welcome to the Jungle was my pump-up song for grade 11 and 12 basketball.
Oh, yeah. Which
is weird, but because it's more like a football kind of pump-up. But when you're talking about being physical and things like that, but I don't know. Maybe it was just around the time or what it was, but Welcome to the Jungle going off in my headset all the way to the gym, and then we'd play our basketball game in high school.
So good. So good. Okay, we get to chat tomorrow. You're traveling here tomorrow. Travel safe. Don't forget your robe and avoid any mirrors.
I sprint by mirrors, man.
Talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Glen Suitor. It's brought to you by Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel. More than a lumberyard. Siding, decking, roofing, windows, doors. There's a sale on right now. Delivery available to the home or the cottage. Freeze Tallman. Okay, we got more from Rider Camp today. We're going to hear from Antoine Brooks Jr. when we come back, and also Sprinkle of the Day. It's a Sports Cage. We'll be right back. Almost a Sprinkle of the Day time for Sports Select. Now, Colson's back, and he's a big basketball guy. I am very intrigued because LeBron James hasn't selected the team that he's going to play for next year yet. So what I was thinking is there's some value under Sports Select, under the futures, NBA championship winner, or you can go winning conference. Because the front runners right now, allegedly, to land LeBron, the Miami Heat, who are 15-1, the Philadelphia 76ers, 16.5-1. The Cleveland Cavaliers are 23-1, but I don't think if LeBron goes there, from what I know, they still ain't going to be that good. And Golden State will be old. If it was a 35 and over league, they'd probably win it, but it's 27-1 for Golden State. Those seem to be the front runner, so there could be some value there.
Could be.
Colson?
Could be.
Where do you think he lands? We should write this down.
I have no idea.
Yeah, you do. Come on.
Yesterday when we finished the show, I thought I saw that it got posted that he went to Philly, and that surprised me.
There's a lot of phony baloney stuff on the internet.
I know. You got to be so careful. If he goes to Miami or the Sixers, that is his best chance, those two, to win a championship.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably the best one to play if you're just going for broke. Cleveland isn't a bad option. They were good in the playoffs.
They can't play defense.
No.
Even I know that.
Yeah. And I think it was their coach who said after they lost the series that analytically they actually won the game or something. And it's like, you lost. It doesn't matter analytically what happened. Anyways.
It's a bad look, coach.
It is. Golden State, that's just for fun, honestly.
Yeah, close, quick charter down, go visit the family, go back up.
Exactly. It would be best for him, family-wise. It would be fun playing with Steph and Draymond.
I think he was.
So that's just kind of the fun one. If he plays another year, I could see him going to Golden State. If this is his last year of actually trying, I think he goes to probably Miami, maybe the Sixers.
I think he's got 2 years left in him. And now, from what I'm hearing and listening with my ear to the ground, so listen to other programs, I think it's Miami. I think it's going to go. Although they say that Riley and him had a falling out.
Yeah.
The last time he was there.
Yeah, Pat Riley has a very strict, we'll call it a code of conduct for the players, even down to like body fat and stuff. It used to be a thing. Then Shaq came and played, and they kind of slacked off on that a little bit. But like LeBron, I think the story was he loves like post-game cookies, chocolate chip cookies, whatever. And Pat Riley said no to that, and LeBron was like, I can't do this.
Who doesn't like a decadent and a little cup of milk?
One other thing about this, though, like I don't know if you saw it, but the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, said they are waiting until he makes the decision to release the schedule.
Yeah.
What player has that kind of power in their free agency?
Nobody.
That they delay the schedule release of a league?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen.
Unreal. Sprinkle of the day, Sports Select. Make your picks online, generate a QR code, take it to your Lotto Spot retailer, and there you go. Chance of winning cash in hand. And so you go, okay, we got a couple of things here we're going to do. SaskTel picked the score.
Oh, yeah.
For the game on Thursday. A chance to win tickets. This is your last chance. We got tomorrow too. Chance to win tickets to the game on Thursday. It's going to be a gooder. 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. Listen to this though. If you haven't won anything in the last 30 days on 620 CKRM.
That's important.
30 days. Call us, pick the score. Colson's going to award you tickets. And then if you're the closest one, of everybody, you get a $200 SaskTel gift card. It's all brought to you by our friends at SaskTel. Back at camp today, and the Riders were on the practice field. Dave Thomas caught up with Antoine Brooks Jr.
Antoine Brooks Jr., let's start serious side. Obviously, everyone wants to know, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Not necessarily overly great, but I'm doing good enough where I just want to protect my teammates' emotions, and mental, making sure they're okay. So I'm doing better than most teammates.
Jaden and you had a very special bond, one that you got to share.
Yeah, me and Jaden. First of all, that's my locker mate. 3 years I get to talk to him every day, and without a hesitation, he ain't never said no to me, or he ain't never looked at me crazy. I love him to death. That's really one of the most reasons why I stay here. It's one of the big bros that just made sure I was, keeping my mental okay with being on practice squad. And ain't nothing good. Ain't nothing that's not good about Donk. I love him to death. He was probably the most open teammate out of all of us on his team. He bring everybody in with open arms, even his family. Because I hugged his mom 2 weeks ago before he ain't traveled with the team. Told her I'd give him a kiss, and I actually did that next Monday after the game. So, and Dad, he thought it was funny. So, me and D Fields, we both seen his mom, and that's when I told her. So yeah, I'm gonna go give your son a kiss, Mom. I know you ain't seen him today, but I'm gonna give him a kiss for you, And I actually did do that when I seen him, and he was just like confused. But I said I did that for Mom. He said, "Well, okay, I love you, bro." And it kept him moving. So other than that, man, I just know my brother. He don't want me moping. He a football player, and that's what football players do. They play through everything. It's the same guy that fight through injuries, play with a cast on, and shoot, a week before that he played with a cast on, and that junk said pow. So my brother, he about everything, and I just want to contribute that on the field. So.
One of the things you do contribute is energy and continuity. A lot of your teammates look up to you for that energy. How do you bring it?
Shoot, just making sure that, I could set my emotions to the side and, just make them smile. Making them smile at least 10 minutes throughout the day or every other 30 minutes is cool with people. Certain people don't make faces and show you in person how how they really feel. So, if you make them laugh, they might not feel that type of way. So that's just really me.
Tell me about the challenge you faced this week. Obviously, you get through everything, and then you have a tough Edmonton Elks team to play against, not only with a great quarterback in Cody Fajardo, but a running back that's tearing it up right now.
Yeah, mentally, I think we just had to come out here and practice really harder because we know what came on us, this week. But other than that, I feel like we ready. and they're not necessarily like ready as in like for the game emotionally, right? But mentally we ready, physically we ready, and I feel like it's going to be a great game this weekend. So I don't see nothing less.
What have you seen on film that's making their offense successful that you need to stop?
Making sure we in our gaps, making sure we can tackle, and honestly, tackling by population.
Yep, there we go. Okay, Sastel picked the score. We got ticker coming up, and what are we at? 4:50. Colson's got some people on the line right now. We'll get back to that. We'll take a quick break. It's a Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Out of the CFL today, 3 Down Nation reporting Nathan Rourke won't need surgery. It's weeks, not months, for his injury. Edmonton Elks have listed offensive lineman Carter O'Donnell as doubtful for Thursday's game against the Riders. Varga also listed as out for the Riders. Montreal Alouettes have released Mario Alford today. The next World Cup of Hockey, it's confirmed, it's coming February 2028. Toronto Blue Jays on the diamond right now. Quick check at they're down 3-0 in the bottom of the second in Tampa, and Red Sox are in Medicine Hat tonight in the Western Canada Baseball League. Steelcraft Doors in Regina, also in Saskatoon and Prince Albert, covering all of Saskatchewan. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada. No tariff style. Steelcraft Doors. Picked the score. It was a Gloria in Assiniboia who picked 24-21 Riders. Gloria, go to your Lotto Spot retailer and take the tie on Sports Select then.
Everyone liking this 3-point game.
A lot of 3-point games. A lot of 3-point games. All right. We will end the show with a little interview again tomorrow coming up. Like we said, we're going to talk to Suits tomorrow. Scott Schultz is in. Sharky is with me on a Wednesday as we get set for the big clash on Thursday. But out at Rider Camp again today, and we'll have more today. An emotional day, no doubt, and it'll be an emotional week for the team. Dave Thomas, again, this time a one-on-one with Mr. James Vaughters.
Pleased to be joined by James Vaughters. James, to me, watching your progression through the first 5 games of this season, it has been remarkable how much more comfort it looks like you have. Is that a fair assessment?
If you mean like comfort in terms of, I think we were rushed 4 a lot here and rushed more than 4 a lot here. And I think as a defensive end, that's when you feel the most comfortable. But I don't think personally I feel more comfortable than in past years or anything like that, to be honest.
Well, you're bang on in that there's levels of comfort. One obviously is with system and scheme. The other one was with the personnel around you. Do either of those stand out to you thus far through 5 games?
I will say that coming into the season we had some young guys and some guys that are in the starting role the first time, some guys coming off injury. So I think it does take time for a D-line to mesh and for guys to understand what they can expect from the guy that plays next to him. I think in terms of comfort there, yes, I do think there's more comfort just knowing who you're running, who you're rushing with, what you can expect from them, and that kind of thing.
We media types like to build up a game against a divisional opponent, especially with one where there's 2 teams with just 1 loss. Are we overemphasizing the importance of this game in the fact that it is a first-place showdown?
Any division, as you've seen in years in the past, any division matchup can have huge implications later in the season. So it's definitely a big game for us, and we're looking forward to rising to the occasion.
Playing against Justin Rankin, who is having an incredible start to his season. You faced him before. What do you need to be mindful of?
All credit to him. He does a great job. But also, I think if you notice the way that their offensive scheme is, they give a lot of different looks, a lot of different run looks, a lot of different looks with extra guys outside the tackles, extra guys coming in behind the tackles. So I think it's hard to tell exactly what you're going to get with him, and I think it helps him get bigger holes because teams are trying to figure out how they want to be schemed when you have so many gap exchanges happening on the offensive side. So we just have to, like I always say, just kind of read our keys and be ready for everything they throw at us. And even late in the game, continue to stay on the fundamentals. Don't let something that they did earlier in the game affect how you read your key and how you play your technique later in the game.
Lastly, can it become frustrating when you face a quarterback like Cody Fajardo with the escapability that he presents and having to continually focus on making sure you've got that edge? So, for example, from your position, is that something that enters your mind and not getting frustrated if he does escape?
I think at this point in football, it's more so, especially CFL football, it's something that you expect for a lot of quarterbacks to be able to get out of the pocket and make plays. I think it's more a relief when you play a quarterback that doesn't get out of the pocket than you feel like it's a special situation, because if you look at the majority, it's usually guys that can get out of the pocket when you look at the quarterbacks across the league. So we just have to, as you said, kind of stay on our P's and Q's and, stay in our rush lanes and make sure that we try to contain them as much as possible, but also be ready to run when it comes time to get them.